Welcome to my CompTIA Security Plus SY0-401 question review. Here we're looking at questions 21 through 25. Alright, so what is the concept least privilege? Least privilege basically is stating that a user should have only the privilege necessary to do their tasks. If they don't need it, you don't give it to them. As their tasks increase, you may have to give them additional privileges, but again, initially they get the least amount necessary to do their job. What does full disk or whole disk encryption prevent? It prevents a data breach if the device is stolen. So, very common if you have a laptop or a flash drive and you have private information on it and you're traveling and someone steals it. Well, they'll have access to all the information on that flash drive or laptop. However, if you implement some type of whole disk encryption or whole device encryption, even if they happen to find your device, they won't be able to get into it because it's all encrypted. So what is it called when you collect a massive amount of logs and perform analysis? Big data analytics. So when you're doing log review, you're actually doing big data analytics. When you collect mass amounts of logs and you try to see patterns or trends off of that. Account management includes areas such as password history, lockout policies, and account lockout procedures. Password history, maybe you want to prevent users from using the same password and you want to record the last 6 possible passwords. Basically, for those 6 passwords, they can't use one that they've previously used. A lockout policy would actually control the lockout procedure. Essentially, how many failed login attempts before the account gets locked? What's the duration of the lockout as well? So account lockout is also going to be dealing with a lockout policy. It's going to be looking at how long does it stay locked out, what happens when it does get locked out. Is it locked out for 24 hours? Is it locked out indefinitely? Does it send an administrator an email? What does it do? Last question in this series is port security. So port security has the ability to learn MAC addresses on a layer 2 switch. If you have a MAC address, if you have port security turned on a switch and it learns one MAC address and you have it set to only remember one MAC address, if you unplug that device and plug a new device in, what ends up happening is the port could shut off because it's not the MAC address it's expecting or is programmed to accept. That way you can have some control over ports in unsecured areas. For example, in a classroom, we may have a data port on the wall for a printer, for example. To make sure no one can get access to the printer VLAN, you may program that port to only know the MAC address of the printer. And you can program it through port security if it detects any other MAC address to turn off. Alright, that is question 5. If you have any concerns or questions about any of these, leave a comment below and I'll get to them as quickly as I can. Thank you.